Hello, my creative friends, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Prompt, which at the moment is about the weekly prompt-ish. But I want to give you something for this fabulous Monday to try to inspire you for the week ahead. One of the great challenges that I often have, particularly as I've sort of set myself up here with this daily prompt series, talking about what I'm trying to build, talking about all my enthusiasm, trying to enlist people, get people excited about it, get people to help me follow through and build it, and then watching it just sort of hang there, and forcing me to go about approaching it from a rather different angle. One of the things that you often face when you put yourself out there, when you say you want to try to achieve something, when you create for yourself some level of public accountability, is judgment, is thoughts from your listener, whether that's family members or friends or confidants or other people in your screenwriting group or other people in your larger community, or people on YouTube. You have their judgment to face. And here's the problem. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone has a perspective. Everyone has an idea of your likelihood of success with the thing that you've set out to do. Everyone has not just an opinion on the likelihood of that success, but ideas on how you should go about doing or not doing that. How often have you had a family member who, when you tell them you want to write screenplays, they go, come on, you don't know anyone in Hollywood. You're not a writer. This is a crazy fantasy. Focus on something serious. Focus on something that's going to actually bring money in. Focus on something that is achievable for you. How often does that kind of a comment just cut at you? Because on some level, perhaps you also feel like, who am I to do this? Who am I to follow through on this idea? Can I really achieve this idea or dream or fantasy and which one is it? So those comments can very often sort of negatively impact your ability to do the thing. But it's not even just from the people who are negative. In fact, there are people who are perhaps very supportive of you, who are very encouraging, who say things like, you should do this, or, hey, how come you haven't yet achieved that? Or, I've been following you and supporting you and encouraging you, and I'm right behind you, but what's happening? You should be further along by now. And it can be very dispiriting, even though the person is trying to help or encourage or inspire you, and they have the best intentions in mind. Now, when it comes to something like what I've tried to set out to do and build, you put all this stuff out there, and then things take longer just because they're more complex, or the pieces didn't fall into place initially the way you thought they might or hoped. And so you're continuing to push and struggle and formulate and modify as you go along. But from the outside, the person doesn't know what you're going through. The person doesn't see all the details in the quiet time and the off-screen, as it were, time, not just on a video like this, but in your life as well. You meet people face to face. You tell people what you're up to. 6 months later, a year later, they're going, what's up? Where is it? How come you haven't gotten there yet? And I guess what I want to get at in this video is it's absolutely essential to your psychological well-being, to your self-esteem, to your motivation levels, to your work itself. It's absolutely essential that we shut those ideas out of our heads, that we understand that those ideas will always be there. Whether people wish you ill or whether they wish you well and are truly genuinely supportive, other people's opinions who aren't in the thick of what you're trying to do are kind of just noise. And I don't mean that in any way disrespectfully to people who, for example, are encouraging of me, but yet ask me, what's up? Where's it going? Why isn't he doing this or that or the next thing? because I'm working every day trying to move towards what I'm trying to achieve. I have a very limited schedule now with a young toddler running around that I want to spend time with as well. And trying to juggle all of the elements makes things take a little bit longer. But we're making enormous progress, very active progress, things that I'm not sharing through the video show here, simply because, as I said in previous episodes, the more you sort of put out there, the more you focus on that and you talking about it rather than just doing the grind behind the scenes. And that's ultimately the lesson here. That's ultimately the daily prompt. That's ultimately the action that you need to focus on. What are you doing to get where you're trying to go? If you're doing what you need to be doing, if you're actually doing the work, if you're actually grinding and moving forward towards your target, actually taking consistent, ongoing daily action. If you really are, and listen, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Only you know. Only you can answer that honestly. Are you really giving it your all? If you're not, then hear those voices a little bit as inspiration for you, as motivation, as a kick in the pants, as do it, as follow through with it. Make this happen. But if you are working toward it and people aren't necessarily seeing what you're doing, even if you've been at it for months or years, people don't know what you know. People don't see what you see. They see what they see. And so when someone claims they want to do something, they put their idea out there to have some sort of public accountability for that idea. And then at whatever time deadline they've announced to the world, that thing has not yet been achieved. If we take on board that other people are disappointed in that, or other people want to give us a push or a nudge, even though we're pushing and nudging as much as we can, that can be very crushing. That can be the thing that kills the dream, that kills the momentum, that kills the desire to even have it. So it's absolutely essential to close your mind to outside influence. At the end of the day, you need to use the outside influence to inspire you where needed and where it's helpful and where it's beneficial. But really, this is a one-person game. Writing, I've said this many times before, and this is some idea that I would really like for you to hold on to. For a writer, your tool is your brain. It is your imagination. It's what you think. It's what you feel. It's how you perceive. It's what you interpret. It's your unique perspective on the world. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone else wants. You're the writer. The ideas come from here. The perspective, the shape, the impetus, the drive, the motivation comes from here. Other people can help you. They can support you and encourage you and push you along. But at the end of the day, it comes from here. If you're letting other people influence that, if you're letting other people steer that ship, whether because you don't want to disappoint them, or because you want to impress them, or because you want them to think you're good or special or right or on the right track or any of that stuff, it's going to damage and affect and impact and change the thing that's unique and special about you. I'm on this journey. I'm on this path. We're going to build an independent film studio. I've said it. I'm holding myself publicly accountable to that idea. I initially wanted to make 3 films this year. That hasn't happened. In fact, I'm changing the model up. So we're going to focus on 1 film over the coming year. And then once we finish that 1 film, we're going to hopefully make 3 films the following year. And then we're going to hopefully make 12 films the year after that until we reach that target. Is that going to happen? I'm busting my ass to try to make that happen. Other people who are looking at it from the outside going, what's taking so long? This shouldn't be that hard. Well, okay, it might not in itself be that hard, but I'm doing this while juggling this and this and this and this. And that's my journey. And that's right for me. And I'm on that path. And I'm plowing forward on that path. And I'm going to achieve the results that I've set out to achieve on that path. And at the end of the day, any other outside voices cannot matter, or the path changes. So when you think about it in relation to your own career, your own creativity, your own desires, your own goals, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what your friends or your family think. It might matter if someone's supporting you, what they think. Do you need to do something to continue that situation? Make sure they're happy enough to keep supporting you along the way. Or is this something that you need to adjust a little bit of your journey? But make sure that choice and that decision and that creative impetus and that drive come from you. The writer's source material is their life experience. So if you changed your life experience to appease someone else, or you supplant your life experience, your perception of things with what someone else believes, then your source material is corrupted because it's not yours, it's theirs. What's going to make you special as a writer? What's going to make your work resonate? What's going to make it valuable and impactful and connect with an audience is if it's yours, if it's unique, if it's you. So make sure to shut out those outside voices. Thank them, be supportive of them, listen to them, hear them, acknowledge them, but ultimately make the decisions that are right for you at all times. Okay? So that's today's daily prompt. Thank you for watching. Do all the social media stuff and click and all that sort of thing. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.